it's Amanda. Thank you so much for clicking on this video. Hope you're having a wonderful day. Welcome to my channel. I post subscription unboxings, beauty hauls, product reviews, first impressions, eyeshadow palettes like what we're doing today. If you haven't already, I would really appreciate it if you hit subscribe. That way you are notified when I post new videos weekly. The closest Morphe store to me is 3 hours away, and I just had to drive the 3 hours to get my hands on the new 35O3 palette. And yes, I have 35O. I also have the 35OS, which is the shimmer, and the 35OM, which is their matte version, as well as the 35O2 palette. And when I first saw the color story of 35O3, I was like, this is a lot different. 35O and 35O2 focus really heavily on reds and browns, and in 35O3 we have greens, oranges, and pinks, which I thought were very unique. The last two rows kind of have that 35O and 35O2 vibe, and I knew from the start once they announced this palette release, I knew I had to pick it up and do a 3 looks 1 palette video. I threw in a bonus look, which is this look that I currently have on my eyes, and we'll also do some swatches. If you're interested in seeing the swatches, the 4 looks, my review, and final thoughts on this palette, then definitely keep on watching. Excuse the dip in the palettes. I went to swatch from top to bottom, and I forgot to start with my thumb. My finger to pan to arm swatches, there is no base or concealer or primer, anything on my arm. Nothing, nada, zip. It was just my bare finger, and for these shades to have stained how bad that they did, the payoff is going to be impeccable. These mattes felt extremely creamy. Different from most of the Morphe palettes that I have. Definitely doesn't feel like the 35O or the 35O2 palette. It feels like a different formula, even creamier than the Jaclyn Hill palette. I can't speak on the James Charles palette because I haven't tried it. The shimmer shades felt creamy, typical standard Morphe formula. And then we have this glitter formula right here. I haven't tried any of Morphe's glitter, but I didn't find this glitter that chunky compared to ColourPop's. Pretty much each shade that we swatched, there's pigment throughout the swatch. I'm a little bit nervous how these shades are gonna blend together. There were some that looked very similar, like these 2 shades right here and the oranges. Comparing the 35O, 35O2, and now the 35O3, I really like this color story the best. And I know that this palette got a lot of hate when it first came out. Everyone's like, another Morphe palette. I feel like this color story is very unique and different from the 35O and the 35O2. I felt those two were very, very similar. And then they kind of killed 35O into the ground, making an all matte and an all shimmer palette. This palette honestly reminded me of the Jeffree Morphe collaboration, which I'm thinking of doing a comparison video. And then there's some shades from like some other palettes I think of as well. I'm a little afraid how my eyes are gonna turn out because how bad my arm and my fingers are stained. I'm a little nervous. I'm gonna quickly prime my eyes and then we are going to jump into it. And I'm gonna take my Anastasia Beverly Hills primer on this Wet n Wild brush to prime my eyes. I don't even think that this palette needs priming, how well that they swatched. We're just going to do it because that's how I like to do my eyeshadow palette reviews. And I'm going to take my hair clips to help get my hair out of the way for this. Luckily, we have a set of clean brushes for this video. I'm gonna take a Luxie 205 taper blending. This shade is calling me. So there is some kickback. I'm a little scared of putting this on my eye because I know it's gonna be pigment. Yeah, like bam. It is going on so easily. If we get through all these different looks, my eye is going to be very stained. I'm gonna prime my eyes each time. Hopefully it doesn't affect some of the shades popping out. So far, so good. It blended out so easily. I only had to dip back in a second time to get the outer V. Now that we have that established, I'm gonna take a Luxie 231 small taper blending with this hot pink. Hopefully this will help deepen and carve out. Actually, they're very similar to each other. I wanted this to help carve out where my lid and crease meet. It has more of a blue undertone, but it's hard to tell where one starts and the other one ends. I was hoping this would be a little bit more coral, but it definitely went on more pink. So I'm just gonna mimic the same, and then we're gonna try to figure out another shade that might help instead. I'm gonna take a Luxie 229 tapered blending, and we'll try this shade right here. This one, kind of tell, but it's just going on a little harsh. So we'll just get this going, and then we'll blend with our initial brush. I don't have any additional product. This one's kind of harder to blend out. I really wasn't gonna do a cut crease, but I feel that these color choices are pressuring me into a cut crease. So I'm gonna take my Alamar brush and my ABH primer. I think I'm going to take some of this green shade on this Farrah 265 brush and spray with some MAC Fix. Okay, that is stunning. If it would just go to the part that I want it to. Thinking of doing another shimmer color on the other side, but I'm happy how this one is popping. And then on a Farrah short shading, I want to take this orange and pack it on the other side. I like these two together. Take some ColourPop orange eyeliner for the waterline. Let's go in with this pink that we tried to deepen it with, just because it is a gorgeous shade and I really want this look to flow really nice. I think that's what the pink will do. I almost did pink on the waterline, but then I felt maybe it was too pink, and I'm like, should I have gone with green instead? That's why I normally do black on the waterline. That way I don't have to choose. Maybe it will look better when I'm editing, but it looks like I have an eye disease. This palette doesn't really cater to a good inner corner shade. I'm gonna try like this goldish shade right here. I always feel like a look needs inner corner. Maybe it doesn't. I could have just wrapped around that green, I suppose. Perhaps mascara will fix this look. I feel like it's a look that I envisioned to go over better, and it's definitely not how I envisioned. Actually, like 90% of the time, those are my look. I have an idea in mind, and then I go do it, and it never ends up what is in my head. It doesn't translate from what's in my head to on my eyes. My hand just has a mind of its own. I call this look a fruitcake mess. So definitely not how I envisioned it to go over. It is not my favorite. It's just a mush of fruit salad. Yummy, yummy. Now that we're feeling bad about ourselves, let's set the base and see if that will help us for the other two looks. On a BH Cosmetics brush, I'm gonna take like this purple shade. I think that shade is a good shade for the fall. Oh gosh, it is pigmented. Very eggplant. I've been thinking about maybe trying a different eyeshadow technique that I see others do, and it's going in with like a deeper shade first, and then with like a lighter shade blending it out with that. This shade is a little bit patchy. I can tell this area right here. It's just a glob of patch, and I'm trying to get through it. I'm making it darker. I'm like, no. I just want to cover up the patch. And it's on this side too. Is it weird to try pink again? Let's just try pink at the top. I went in very lightly. I think I need a little bit more just to help this patchiness. Ooh, I kind of like that gradient. Yay or nay? Smash like for yay. I kind of like going in with that darker shade first and then the lighter shade. I was afraid it wouldn't even show up, and it's doing a great job. Patchiness who? I don't know her. I didn't want to repeat a color because I want to get a feel for this palette, but I have no interest in these neutral shades. I want to play with the colors of the wind. For once in my life, the right eye looks a little bit better. I'm drawn to the same colors I've already used. I'm like, ooh, orange on the eyelid would look cute. Maybe this red. And I'm like, well, what about the green? Bitch, you already used the green. Try something new. You got 35 shades to work with, and there's only like 10 that I want to work with. I was like, do we halo? Do we not halo? Yeah, we're gonna halo. try this shade right here. I thought about doing the glitter, but I'm not in the mood for glitter. I really wanted to do green, but we already used the green shimmer. Like how you already used the pink. Well, you know, I'm kind of limited with what I'm trying to do here. This is just like a mismatch of colors. I see why Kelly Gooch says a halo look looks like a bunch of colors jumbled together on hooded eyes. But then again, that's how I feel about cut creases. And we did both a cut crease and a halo look. Kind of want to take this purple and some of the red or the pink, whatever it is, outer portions with this dark purple. Clean, clean, clean. Why not? I really want to use this damn green again. Inner corners we go. This look would not be complete without some green. If the green will cooperate. This green is a little bit more sheer. And I could even tell that a little bit from our first look on the eyelid. And I call this look a fall shit show. I feel that setting the base did help, but I know it affects the shades not to pop as much, but I like how they blended. Ooh, my eyes are staining. I got glaucoma. I think I am gonna try this green matte. I wanted to do a neutral look, and that's not happening, and oh my gosh, this green. Just bringing it on the first half of my eye. I did not set the base for this look, and I'm slightly regretting it, because I was like, oh, I'm gonna do a neutral look, and plot twist, and then I really want to take orange with these two shades together. We're calling me. Oh, look at that orange. This look I don't have a vision for. It's just letting my hand do its own thing, because I have learned from the first look, you have a vision, it ain't gonna happen. But these shades together don't look really pretty when they meet, so hopefully I need to take some of that green to diffuse it a little bit. Yeah, it's just gonna have to be how it is. There's no budge for that ugliness of the two where they meet. And this shade right here. Oh, that's pretty together. I kind of wanted to do something a little bit different on the outer portion of my eye, but I can't decide. Maybe it's just gonna have to go. I'm running into the issue of I need more greens, or I need some more oranges, or I need some more pinks. I just feel like it's too much of a mismatch that I'm drawing a blank when it comes to creating looks. Because I get to a certain point and then I get stuck and I'm like, well, now what? But I'm going to take orange. So we're going to do it reverse of how they are, and then the green will go on the back half. I have a lot of mixed feelings about this palette, and I'm thinking I'm going to do a fourth look to see if that's what my conclusions are. I thought that this palette was going to be, ooh, amazing. Oh god, this shade is not good for the lower lash. I was trying to make it cool looking. Ooh. I called this look, I don't know what we were going for. I wanted to use the green. You can definitely tell a difference between primer and no primer, and you want primer for that green. So I wanted to do Cosmo and Wanda, but then I felt it was too similar to the first look where I used green and pink. So I thought maybe orange could help. Orange had a different agenda. Let's try this shade right here. I think I'm going to try to play it safe and do a neutral focus look with a pop of color on the lower lash. Can't use that green. And the pink looked like I had an eye disease. As we learned from look 2, I really want to take some orange and blend out with this, but I feel like that will end up terrible. But I'm feeling a little impulsive. What's the worst that can happen? Let's grab this shade down here. Oh, it looks way too similar to the shade that we went into. Maybe this gold? Alright, feeling a little bold. Spread some glitter around. I don't know if it's eye safe, but you know what? We have committed. I'm using my finger and it kind of messed things up. Move. I know, it's really hard to move glitter. Maybe I shouldn't have done glitter. I feel like it kind of overkilled, but it goes really nice with the shades. But the glitter isn't as popping as I thought it would be. Maybe that's because of how refined it is. I think I'm gonna end with this shade right here. Kind of want to put a pop of orange in the inner corners. That did nothing. Oh, I did not love this palette as much as I thought I was going to. I ran into a lot of issues. There's no doubt that this palette is gorgeous. I really enjoy the shades in this, but I feel like it's not enough. I feel very limited, like these two shades. How they went on the eyes, for example, were very similar. I don't have like another pink from this palette to really counter it without going too magenta-y, and it takes away from the hot pink, as well as the orange. I guess I could have used these mustardy oranges, but I need a little bit more range, and the greens is quite obvious. I had all of these looks planned in my mind, and when I started applying shades to my eyes, I'm like, wait, I need this orange or that pink. I started panicking. I didn't feel supported from this palette of what I needed to do. I feel like I would need to dip into some other palettes. I have some more greens, pinks, and oranges. I think that they could have removed this bottom row and supported this palette with those shades. But these bottom two rows is what makes this palette part of the 35O family, in my opinion, because there aren't really many shades from the top three rows except for like the more neutrally orangey shades that are in 35O and 35O2. Even like blendability, when I try to do this green and orange together, created a very harsh line in between, and no matter if I went in with the orange or the green, it just stayed there. The pigment payoff is definitely there. That is a definite plus of this palette. I feel like I can create more looks with it, but I have the urge to pair it with some other palettes. But I feel like 35 shades should be enough to the point where you don't have to pair it, but it's just the color story. Every time I would pick a really bright shade, I would sit and stare at this palette going, okay, what next? It's because the shades are just too similar or too neutral, so you would be having to add pops of color instead of going for like a very colorful look. That's how my brain was thinking when I was creating these looks, and that's what my hand ended up doing. I really wanted to love it, but it's not my favorite. I would love to know your thoughts on this palette. Did you guys run into any issues of blending, any patchiness? I did run into patchiness with this beautiful purple shade. I would definitely suggest a primer for this green. It looked terrible on the lower lash line, but I would love to know what looks you guys have created. Let me know in the comments which look was your favorite. Let me know if you plan on picking up this palette. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this video and found it helpful. Don't forget to subscribe before you leave, and if you don't, thank you for the view anyway. Smash that like if you want to see more 3 looks, well, this was technically 4 looks, 1 palette videos, and I'll see you in the next video.